Guys are welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first time. Kindly subscribe. So we want to this is also your first time. Kindly please watch the former videos so you don't miss the things we have done so far. So today we're going to be looking at the internal and external styling. We stop at inline styling. This is inline styling. We stop at inline styling. Why it's rude. So this is inline styling. So I said I'm going to move into internal and external styling today. So we're going to be using this about page for the inline styling. We're going to use this about page for the inline styling. For the internal styling, rather. So what is internal styling? What is inline styling? Inline styling is when you are styling your web page in line with your content. For example, these are the stylings: style, background color, padding top, padding left, blah blah blah. This is the content inside. So you are styling it in line with the content. Same thing with the rest. For internal styling, you are styling your web page inside the HTML file. You are styling it inside the HTML file. So let's check our browser. So this is the things we've done so far. So we are just joining. Kindly watch the previous videos so we can be on the same page before watching this one. And so to navigate to my about page, I'm clicking here. So this is my about page. So this is my about page. So the inline styling. The styling is going to be inside the HTML page. So, and this is our HTML page. So you style it under this title using the style tag. Style. Using the style tag. Okay. So we start using the H1 tag. Using the default lorem text, lorem 5. So this is lorem 5. So using H1. So when we want to style this using the inline styling, inside the H1, give it a class. Remember the internal, the inline styling was style. Then we write whatever style we want to give to it. But the internal styling and external styling, they are different. We use class to style. So I'm going to be giving this a particular class name. I'm going to be giving this a particular class name. So let's say I'm giving it a class of lorem. You can name it any class. You can give it any class, but just make sure the class we are giving to it is what I'm going to use to style it. But because we are using class here, so we're going to be using dot here, dot lorem. Remember the class name is lorem, so I'm going to be using dot lorem, and want to give it a color blue. So this will change to blue, and a background black, and we have this changing to black, a black background and a blue color. You can also use, if you don't want to use stars, you can also use ID. can also use ID instead of class. ID. But whenever we're using ID, we use hash instead of dots. We use hash lorem. Then the curly brackets, color, red, and background. Okay, let's give it a bit color. Then we have this. This is using ID, while this is using class. And you can decide not to use ID and class. You can use only the tag to style. For example, I have H2, I have lorem 3 inside H2. So I want to style lorem 3. So I can just simply use ordinary H2 without dots, without hash, just the tag H2. And this, I give the color green and background. Okay, this is a green color and a purple background using the tag. The reason why I don't use H1 is because now if I should use H1 tag, now this has H1 tag, this has H1 tag, the styling is going to overwrite these ones we have here because we're using the tag. The tag is stronger than the class and the ID. So if I decide to change this now to H1, okay, I have H1 here, I have H1 here, and also have a class lorem, I have an ID lorem. So if I come here and I put important, so it will overwrite it, guys. Meaning this H1 is important than the color and the ID. That's why I wrote the importance. Now it has changed to green, but the background is still black and this background is still white because I have not changed this. Now if I change also this to important, then I'm going to have a purple background and a green color because of the importance. So most people don't use H1. They don't use tag rather, except when it is very, very necessary. Like if you are using you are creating a form, you have a long form and you have the input, you have a long input text, input password, input file, input date, input blah blah blah. So you can just use the input, just pick the input tag and style. But you have different forms with a different styling, then you can give them class. But if the input forms have the same styling, you can just take only the tag input and style it. Then everything is going to, the styling is going to affect all the inputs. Okay, so for the sake of this class, we're going to be using class instead of ID. Class. Okay, so for the first one, I give it a class of lorem and I style the lorem here, a color and a background. Okay, so we're picking another H1. Give it any class. Remember, I'm writing dog, so when I come here and I do dots, remember I'm using class, that's why I'm using dots. And I give this a color, pink, background, yellow. So we're having this. Okay, so everything that applies to inline styling also applies to internal and external styling. The only difference is this is inline, this is internal. Why external styling is external. The styling is not inside, it is outside the web page, outside the HTML document. Okay, so the same padding and margin padding and margin we have for inline is the same thing for internal. Class ipsum, and I'm coming here and doing dot ipsum. Dot ipsum. So I want to have multiple of this. Okay, so I'm changing this to something else. Changing this to something else. 6. Changing this also. And I'll also be changing this to rem. So remember I said like you can give it any name, any class name. Okay. So I've styled if some. I want to style below. Below. Okay. Color. White. Background. Yellow. Dot for seat also. Color. White. Background. Green. For image. Color. Background. Blue. White. Okay. And for the last one, the class name of the last one is rem. It's rem. Color. White. Brown. Brown. Okay, so I'm giving the first one is ipsum. This is ipsum. So this is ipsum here. So I'm giving ipsum a padding. Padding left 100 pixel. Internal space. Remember padding is internal space. 100 pixels. So it's going to shift away from this side. That's padding left. So if I do padding top 20 pixel. I have my padding top 20 pixel here. Padding bottom 10 pixel. Padding bottom 10 pixel. And I can also decide to do this. The ordinary padding. So remember the first one is always for the top. So when I increase this to 20, the top is going to increase. This is for the left, but this is for the right. There is space here already, so it's not visible. I can just leave it at 0. The bottom also. If I increase this to 50, the bottom is going to increase. And for the left, if I increase this to 100, but this is going to increase also. So you can do it like this: padding top, padding bottom, padding left, and padding right. You can also do it like this: padding. This is the top, right, bottom, left. And if you want to give it an equal padding, all round equal padding, just do ordinary padding, 40 pixels, ordinary padding on the number. Then this will be 40, 40, 40, 40. Okay, so same thing goes to the margin also. So margin left 100 pixel. There will be an external space right here. Margin bottom 50 pixel. External space at the bottom. Margin top and margin right. So this is margin right. So you can also do margin and 40 pixel. Then wrap this can also use margin and padding together. So this is margin 40 pixel. This is the top space, left, bottom, and right. You can also do padding again, still inside 20 pixel. We're going to have internal space and external space. Okay, so now I want to have a paragraph tag. In the paragraph tag, we're writing Lorem show off. Lorem show off. So this is Lorem show off. So this is Lorem show off. Yeah, paragraph. So I'm giving this a class of para, and right here dot para. Para. Okay, so I want to give it, okay, I want to decrease the sentence a little, so I can just remove all this. Good. Okay, so I want to bring the sentence to the center. What do I do? Text align center. Text align center will bring it to the center. Font size to increase the size. Font size to increase the size. You can pick any of this. To make it smaller, I can pick this. I will have a very small text, and I can also use X small. Also use extra large, X large becomes big, and I can also use XX large, also becomes bigger. And I can pick a number, 15 pixel, big. I can decide to increase it to 25, becomes bigger. So I just want to use 20 pixel. And also, I also want the text to be in capital letter. So I also want the text to be in capital letter. I can simply do text transform, uppercase, and everything we change to capital letter. Everything change to capital letter. If I want to underline, I can come here and put a U tag right here, and I can copy all this and put it inside. And I can have an underlined text, and I can, if I want to bold, I can also put a bold tag right here. Do the same thing, copy and drag it inside. I will have a bold underlined text, and I can also do that using my CSS. I can underline and bold it using the CSS if I don't want to use HTML. So this is how we are going to do that. So you can come here and do text decoration. Then we have different type of text decoration. Underline. Then we are going to have an underlined text. So let's check another text decoration. Dotted. Okay, I think that is doing nothing. Line through. Okay, so this is what line through is going to do. And I I think there's also overline. If there's underline, then there should be overline also. Overline. Yeah, this is overline. And I think I can give it underline and overline together. Yeah, okay. You can't only over. You can just give it only one text decoration styling at a time. Okay. So we're talking about underline, and to remember, I bolding it with HTML using the bold tag. So I want to use CSS. I can just do font weight. Font weight. Remove this. Font weight. Give it a number 500, and it becomes bold. You can decrease the thickness 100. You can decrease the thickness 100. You can decide to increase it to 200, 300, 4, 5. Then I think the last number is 900. That is the highest thickness you can have. So if you have an heading, instead of using the H1, you can just use, you can still use a paragraph, increase the font with font size, text align center, text transform, text decoration to give it on to underline it, font size to make it big, and font weight to bold in it. Then under you can have your lists. Okay, so let's look at another paragraph tag again. Let's look at another paragraph tag again. So So if you don't want to use text align, you want to take it to the right. This is text align right. So if you don't want to use text align right, you can also use float. I think float will also work. Float right. And yeah, you have it at the right here. And you can also use text align right. But for the sake of this task, we want this to be at the center. Center. And I'm reducing this to 30. Okay, so and to encap this in a border, so I'm giving it border. Remember I said border has 3 parameters. Number 1, the thickness, the type of border you want, and the color. I want a blue border. So we have this. Remember I gave it padding top. That's why this has the padding top right here. So to make that be at the center, we'll also give it a padding bottom of the same pixel. Okay, nice. We have it at the center. Okay, so I want to increase it a little bit on size. I think the default is true, so I don't do 15. So this has a sharp edge, so to curve the edge you can just simply do border radius of 30 pixels. You have a curved edge. You can decrease it, then it will be a little bit curved. You can increase it to 50 pixel. Then we have this. Okay, so you can use the knowledge of inline styling. The difference is just that you are giving it a class and you are styling whatever you want to style using that class, So last one, let me style a button. Use a button tag. Button login. Submit. Since it is a login button is a submit button, so you have to give it type submit and a class of log. So this is the button right under here. So I want to style it. Login background color. I want red color, white. So we have it here. Now if you notice around it, we have a black border around it. We don't want that border there. I'll simply do border none to remove the border around it. Then we have no border there again. Then to increase the space around it, remember the padding for internal space. So to give this button an internal spacing, so I said padding, this. So we're going to increase, this is for the top, this is for the left, increase this is for the right, increase this. So we have this. I want to shift it, I use margin left, to shift it. And I want to give it a space at the bottom, margin bottom. We want to increase the font size, the login font size of 15 pixel. It's now bigger. We also want to change the font family, and we pick from this. So I want to use cursive for the font family. So I have cursive here and font width to bold in it. So I have a big something here and border radius. Border radius 30 pixels. So the internal styling is same thing. The external styling is similar to the internal styling. The only difference is that the styling has a separate file. So to do an internal and external styling, you create a new file and you name it style.css. Then on your style.css, the first thing to do is this. Now everything, all the stylings here, I'll just copy everything. I'll cut, remove everything from here. So everything here will leave, all the styling has left, and I'll paste it right inside this place. Now here. Now the reason why this has not affected it is because we have not linked this external styling to our HTML file. So to link it, we use link and slash. So this is style.css, and we link it here, and everything we did will apply to it. Yeah. So that is the difference between internal and external styling. It's the inline styling. So in our next class, we're going to be looking at Bootstrap. Bootstrap is an easier way to style our web page. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so.